Hey guys, it's Cookies here. Got turn 78 from the EA Vanheim game. Cast a few spells. This is the first turn where I'm starting to consolidate a little bit more, so I get to have a chance to react to things. I get to, cast more of my own spells. One of the things I noticed was a lot of the blood hunting didn't really have patrollers, and I wanted patrol chaff quickly. So I bit the bullet and cast a bunch of Call of Winds. Later on, I'll start phasing out the birds for undead. Additionally, Infernal Tempest for some storm demons, and got a vampire. That was another thing. This particular Vanheim didn't really have any vampires. I think they make great, blood hunters and great casters. So I'm going to start casting Curse of Blood a lot. And we have a few battles. So first up is Aquesta. So to kind of start this off, sorry, I've got a little bit of a cough, so I apologize. We have this guy who, if I remember right, last turn, I forget if this guy was a prophet last turn, but he's definitely a prophet this turn, and this might have been the first turn that McCone went AI. But because he's a prophet, he loses almost all of his hit points to the Dominion penalty, so he went from being very scary to way less scary. Additionally, he's got a Scutata Volturnus, but he's going to cast Iron Skin. He's going to lose this shock resist, which means my little air elemental trap is probably going to work. He's got fantastic stats, but I've brought in a number of Jarls, including some with these Heartfinder swords, and it's probably going to turn into very much overkill, but against 16 HP, but let's see how it goes. Some Griffins jump in. Flying Shield to block half of the attacks. You can see that he did do Iron Skin. So his protection's extremely high now, but he is vulnerable to shock damage. And another thing, in my script, I was casting Charge Body. I'm going to find out later that this might be a mistake for some of my Jarls, because it does so much damage, it can actually kill them through the Bless shock resistance, because it does damage to themselves and the opponent. So this guy here, he's actually been hit a couple of times now, just by the Draconians and Griffins. But here come the Air Elementals. And they make short work of them. So might have gotten away with just one Jarl, but I sent 5 because I'm new to the game. So that guy's dead, which is good. We found, I guess the side benefit of bringing all these commanders is we did pick up a lot of the gear. And we free Aquesta, which is really interesting because it has double enchantment bonus, which I quickly find out does not stack. However, it's just a really nice province in general. A lot of Dominion can come out of this, and kind of creates a band of provinces that are really good for blood hunting. So like this one, this one, and maybe these two. This one less so. Next up, we have a battle in Daman. We're going to go after some independents. So for this, say we have a group of barbarians going up against our flame spirit, who has 2 gems. So probably just some fire elementals. And some will-o-wisps, which he rolled very high on. I think that might be like a D6 thing. Okay, so actually he's going to cast will-o-wisp. Oh, I guess they come from the edge of the map. That's kind of neat. So the barbarians get kind of tied up because their 11 attack is trying to hit a 20 defense skill will-o-wisp with a 10 damage armor piercing flame burst. And then we followed up with the fire elemental and some fire cloud spam. Now, inconveniently, this fire elemental just goes right past these guys down here. And so, and he quickly routs them. But these barbarian lords are just hell-bent. So the first guy gets hit with a falling fires. And it looks like he killed himself on the fire shield. Yep. But then we've got two more coming in. So it's looking a little dire, and then they run. So, way closer call than I ever would have thought it should have been. Because the fire elemental just kind of veered off course, like a little fiery hurricane. But in the end, it does end up going okay. And Daman is nice because it is a pile of gems. So that's 6 gems right here. All packed into one depopulated province. Next up we have Roos. Trying to free this fort, which was also under siege by Macone. So for this particular battle, we have a pole march with a girdle of might. We have a number of these Giganti hoplites, which are really dangerous with their golden spears. We have another pole mark, and they make pretty good thugs, I would say, because they have a built-in magic weapon. They have high protection, very good stats all around, and you can kind of gear them out, and the earth path is pretty good for thugging. And I guess if you can fix some of the encumbrance bits of this, you might be able to do like a Phoenix Spire thing. That seems more tricky to me. And then we have a Locos with a Firebrand and a Shield of Gleaming Gold with Awe. So another scary guy. We have a Crystal Mage. Thankfully no gems. And then we have a couple of Lion Tribe Witch Doctors and a little commander in the back who also has a Girdle of Might. And then we have on Vanheim's side, we've got a number of Storm Demons. We've got some Vanheers. I brought a Shaman for fluffing. These guys, I think, generally came with most of the gear that they're attacking with. So we have this Iron Face Thug. Let's see, with a water bottle, I guess. So hopefully we can retake this fort and reassign gear. We have this guy with all the resistances and a Firebrand. Importantly, also, 2 of these guys had air gems, so they can cast Mist Form. And then another Iron Face Thug with a Lightning Spear. Notably, these guys have a lot of experience. So they're definitely more dangerous than your normal Vanheers. Yeah, all of them 3 or 4 stars. And then to keep his cold aura away from everyone else, I've got this Bane here. He's got Boots of Stone, And whatever... I think this guy is breaking out, so I think it's just whatever gear I could put on him, but I forget. Anyways, he's got a Lightning Spear and an Astral Serpent. He has 30 poison resist, so the Astral Serpent makes sense. So, with 35 damage, Death Poison. Which would actually hit the Bane, but we'll see. Alright, so let's kick it off. I don't know why it does that. S? Okay. That's enough. Alright, so we have some lightning coming in, stunning a bunch of the hoplites. These guys are buffing themselves. This guy's actually point buffing, so this guy is ethereal now. We also have some vans coming in on the flank. All the Van Heroes fight with the... So it's actually kind of hard to watch. Alright, so these guys have gone through here, and they're deleting mages. Or they're about to. They just got hit with magma eruption, it looks like. And then this guy's also charging straight in. He cares not about these Van Heroes. Kind of interesting that they completely ignored those mages for so long. So this guy gets deleted by lightning. The Bane is not running. Enough of the hoplites have died that this guy is trying to run. And now he's stunned and getting hit by thugs. And he is a Phoenix Pyre thug, but he's near fatigued out. And this is something interesting that I learned in this battle, which is if you're stunned and you die and you have Phoenix Pyre up, you come back stunned. So that was good to learn. And we clean up here. So all in all, lost 8 mounted herdmen, 3 Van Heers. Completely acceptable to kill this army. And found a little bit of the gear. So got in on here. So now I can use this capital, and considering we have a fort coming up soon here, it will be important to clear out these independents. And we have a doom cloud here. Okay. Something that I will note is the previous player cast a lot of Akashic knowledge. So a lot of this stuff is very thoroughly site searched. I'm going to be a little bit lazy about finishing out the site searching, but eventually I'll start doing it. It might be too late though. Next up is TNN jumping on a fort or province. Province, it looks like. So he's got a golem here. 2 dancing tridents, quickness boots, frostbrands, Gutata Volturnus, 25 protection, which these guys can definitely punch through that. Although with the interesting 2 water boosters. Yeah, body ethereal probably isn't going to help much here once he gets through the barbarians. Down to 40 HP. And they almost get him. So Rex the Golem down to 11 HP. Picks up a couple of afflictions. But will survive. Unless this guy can kill him. I don't think so, though. Does Phoenix Pyre kind of treat you like an immortal then? That's interesting that he hasn't routed. Huh. Interesting. And then we have the Mighty Pillars. Just picking off some more independence. So this one was one of the more dangerous ones sitting on one of my forts. So we've got a Troll King. I didn't know if he had some gems. I just knew I wanted the fort saved. And then a number of trolls. And I've brought some Herdmen, some Devils, a Iron Face Vampire. This is one of the vampires that the previous player created. So... doesn't really say where he goes home to, though. And then we've also brought a Jarl. Oh, I think this army was actually walking. So there's some odd gear on here, like the dowsing rod, that I'm hoping to get back into the lab. And then this Troll King with a flame helmet and an Alquil. So I did Bloodlust. So these devils will hit especially hard. Okay, so that was pretty quick. Killed that stuff, and then had a few events. This Site of Mystical Power, I don't forget about this, but I'm still looking for it. And the locusts have destroyed the harvest here. Exciting. And another event. And then some people have died in Klon now. And then I realized that there's probably a better place to put this guy, so I'm going to send him over to the Cloud Breakers. I don't know, like, I just figured, like, if I'm gonna take Storm Demons out into the sea or against Yomi, it'd probably be better to have the production up here. And I did get worried. So what was it? Yeah, I was kind of worried that Reaper would disease units around him, like other commanders, but playing this through, it doesn't seem like he does. So it was probably good to just leave him here. I don't think he would have affected things much. Another thing I'm doing some astral windows and some teleports. Some Curse of Blood. I think I changed a couple of these guys to do Akashic Record, because I was talking to both of these players, and both were making the case against the other. Like, we had Yomi here and Atlantis. And so I just wanted to get a better idea about what I was dealing with. So I think this turn, I don't think I captured in this particular part of the save, is I do some Akashic Records, so I can kind of put together a better picture of the game. Because I don't have much of a spy network either. I'm just gonna keep working on clearing out these independents. Another thing is I've got a lot of troops up here, but my thrones are down here, and this 3-point throne is still extremely important, since, and I won't find this out until later, but all Yomi needs are these 5 and this 3-point throne to win the game, I think, because it's 3, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Although I think one of these two might actually be a 3-pointer. And so it ends up being the 15 to win. So I don't think he knows that just yet. He might not. because it hasn't been claimed, but I'm gonna want to claim it because it's just really nice. But before I do that, I'm trying to get some more defenses down here so I can at least try to defend it from Yomi. A little bit of a global update. Still the Gift of Health, End of Culture, Earthblood Deep Well, and some other stuff. So yeah, just reorganizing the blood hunting. So I was pulling the blood hunting away from a lot of isolated blood hunting. I'm just going to blood hunt some of these castles for the moment until I can put together more patrol chaff, and then I'll start sending the blood hunting back out. I still plan to blood hunt this into the ground because of the Devil's Den. Since it's going to be hard to get, there's no money in this, and it's a good population for blood hunting, so I'm just going to blood hunt it. And doing some recruiting, mostly trying to recruit, I think, some Jarls. Maybe this is more infrastructure. Yeah, we're getting a drop. Maybe this one's more infra. Yeah, I'm getting this Enchantress because I'm thinking if she picks up the water random, might be a decent little Foul Vapors trap or something for Yomi. So that's kind of the plan there. And I'm hoping to heal this guy with the miraculous Cure-All Elixir. I'm doing some crafting, getting some water gear, getting an Ivy King for some magic diversity. That's another big thing I noticed was not a lot of magic diversity at the moment if I were to send out an army. So just trying to pick up some more, especially nature. So, because I think my biggest nature mage is over here. It's going to be doing mass protection patrolling with all the bears on the capital here, even though I have a nap through with TNN. Just making sure. And then, yeah, I think that's most of it for this turn. I got some more Twiceborns in. Yep. I want to make sure I can at least get a second use out of some of these dwarves. Crown of Despair. So, and I've reoriented the research all the way down to enchantment 7. Probably for Serpent's Blessing, Life After Death, Mass Flight, Carrion Reanimation for Patrol Chaff, and Thetis Blessing. Yomi was trying to convince me to cast Thetis Blessing so that they could fight on a more equal footing. So I'm considering that. At this point in the game, I'm also hoping maybe I can invade Yomi at some point. So my plan is to do a casting of it, which might force Atlantis to do a big dispel of it. So it'll weaken Atlantis. But also doing a big casting, maybe a bunch of demons will run into the oceans, and if I see an opportune moment, maybe I can drown the caster, because I'm planning on using this guy for it. And he is not an amphibian, so I could drown him. And that would end the spell and drown all the demons. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I do end up telling, kind of to my chagrin later, but I do end up telling Atlantis how much I put into Thetis Blessing in case he does want to dispel it. And we'll see what he does with that. I think that was a mistake though. And just kind of getting research on going. Previous player did a great job getting a bunch of research mages. One of the things I am going to start slowly doing is, so I am going to fort this just to get access to these lore masters and more sages in a different part of the map. So I'm going to try to create some of these guys and move the items around. so they're not on mages with the horror mark affliction. And that's it. So I'll see you in turn 79. Bye.